Thank you, Senator Argyle and Senator Ward. Thank you for being here and supporting this here, and welcome everybody to this most historic occasion and this most historic town. And what happened here in 1863, I think today we're going to see a turning of the tide, because we have not really heard the truth of the arguments made on the other side on what happened. And when we're dealing with a government and leadership in Harrisburg that wants to close their ears to what's happened during this election, and sadly many in the media that are complicit and want to write off what happened. So for me, on this battlefield and remembering what happened 157 years ago, especially 157 years ago last week, where Abraham Lincoln gave his most famous address, and I think his final sentence captures why we're here today. He said that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. And everything is at stake in what happened during this election cycle. Everything. The republic is at stake. This is no game for us. And for any veteran in this room here who wore the uniform, such as Brigadier General Scott Perry, thank you for being here, sir. Put their lives on the line here fighting for a country, and to see that there's a group in this state and country willing to throw away our valuable and precious freedoms here for power. You know, for me, there we go. And Mr. Mayor, it's going to be a fantastic hearing today. Despite pleas from our citizens, the governor refuses to even consider that there was any shenanigans in the elections here in our state, a state of 13 million people, and he wants to discount because his guy won that nothing bad happened, and that's just unacceptable. If there's any hint of fraud out there, we need to investigate. Any governor serving the people, this Commonwealth, would put aside his petty politics, and find out the truth if anyone was defrauded. And at this point here, he's unwilling to do that. Let me point out some hard facts here. We are in Adams County, named after our second president, John Adams, who famously said, "Facts are stubborn things." Let me lay out several of these inconvenient truths, as Al Gore would have us think. There have been many allegations of voting law violations across the state, and the governor serving the people would have to move heaven and earth to ensure no one was defrauded, but yet he's not moved to action. And even his Secretary of State, of course, says that there was no shenanigans of great concern. And I'll remind everyone that I was a no vote on the confirmation of Kathleen Bookvar 4 times that I interacted with her. I asked her, why are elections in Afghanistan more secure than in Pennsylvania? And she sat there and blinked and couldn't give me a straight answer. That elections are more safe and secure in a war-torn country devastated by conflict since 1979. What is going on here? The place where this all started in 1776, and we can't get an election right? You got to be kidding me here. And so as a result of her inaction, the governor's inaction, refusal to even look into any of the allegations, and to discount the very essential freedoms of our citizens, we are here today to try to find out what the heck happened in the election. You know, and likewise our Attorney General, our senior law enforcement official here, you know, instead of being focused on making sure things are lined up in kosher, before one vote was counted in Pennsylvania, the day before the election, declared Biden the winner. I mean, there's nothing to see here. Could you imagine if the shoe was on the other foot? Would the media be so gracious and merciful and kind if it was a Republican? Absolutely not. And so, Houston, we have a problem here. You know, one of the most troubling things in this whole endeavor here, and it's not just because of the COVID, it's just a lack of transparency and accountability. So we're here to start shedding light on the darkness. And then, of course, we have a Supreme Court that rewrote election law. You know, Act 77 has been painted out as a villain. Okay, we could debate that. But the real problem is when the Pennsylvania Supreme Court decided they're going to write legislation and rewrite our law. And because of that, obviously, Pennsylvania, we got a lot of problems there. And that opened the door to all the shenanigans and abuses and folly that we're dealing with here in the state this day. So what's going on here? Thousands of people from across the Commonwealth have reached out to us, tens of thousands, asking and demanding action. They deserve it. And as a result of the inability of our executive branch to do their job, we're stepping in here. We're co-equal members, and we're going to do our job. We're looking for transparency and truth. There's going to be no grandstanding here. We're after facts. And we're going to have a good layout here of what happened. And you're going to have to decide, good people of Pennsylvania, on what happened and whether there's a strong case to be made or not. You know, the forgotten men and women of our great state feel betrayed by their government. And I'm with them. I feel the betrayal as well. So we undertake these proceedings today to find out what happened and then hopefully come up with an approach where it never happens again. And the issues are galore. You're going to hear about poll watchers being denied access, where election software vendors refuse to testify before the General Assembly. What do they got to hide? Do we expect the people to trust their government? And we got to earn their trust. And this is no game. And the very republic very much is at stake. Anyone who loves this country has to put aside their petty partisan politics and allow the light to shine where it is. And we're going to find the truth and celebrate it. You know, as a soldier and now as an elected member of the state Senate, I'm not going to stand aside, and neither of the members around me are as well. We're going to fight the good fight for freedom and secure our republic. Too many good men and women have gone before us here, given their lives here, and to cast it aside now for power play is unacceptable and it's not going to happen. Thank you. We do our great men and women in uniform and those who lay down their lives and gain a last full measure of devotion a great disservice if we stand aside and allow bureaucrats and corrupt politicians to steal their voice and maybe even steal an election. We'll find out. John 8:3, thank you. John 8:3-6 says that if Jesus set you free, you're free indeed. We're going to walk as free people in Pennsylvania. This is where it all started. We choose this day to walk as free men and women in honor of the sacrifice not only of Jesus on Calvary, but also in honor of the sacrifice of brave men and women in uniform who fought for and secured our freedoms. We will be relentless in our pursuit of the transparency, of accountability, and truth. The time for dithering, politics, and games is over. The time for truth and justice is now. In conclusion, as Benjamin Franklin was leaving Constitutional Hall in 1787, he was approached by Mrs. Powell, and Mrs. Powell ran up to him. We surmise she knew him personally, and she said, "Well, Mr. Franklin, what do we have? A monarchy or a republic?" And he said, "A republic if you can keep it." This is our time to keep this republic. Thank you, and God bless you.